Boom. Boom? Question
Boom.
mark?
Yeah, boom, question mark.
Boom. Okay. Rocking and rolling. Time for... I got to tweet this out, too. Sweet.
What's up, y'all?
Party people in the house.
Anybody out there? About to fire this thing up, y'all.
Boom. You need to change the video resolution. It's not supported. Recommended resolution is twice as much as what I use.
Yeah. Cheers, Brett.
That slows the
Good to
internet
see you,
down.
buddy.
What's up, Brett? Odell. What's happening?
Sup? How y'all doing tonight?
Got a little solo cast today for you on the 199.
Hey, Chrissy. How you doing? Firing up a little bit early tonight. Just going to be me and Rusty.
Just the two of us.
Just the two of us.
Sure, when
As
you
it
and
turns out.
just the two of us.
It'll be fun, though. Y'all know that. We did... How many of the first, 100 episodes that we do that were just solo jobs? Probably almost all of them.
First 100, I would say probably 50%. We were doing pretty good by the end of it.
Yeah, that's true.
Tommy was a regular by then.
How did you get your
I
bottle
have
open?
a bottle opener on my... here, I'll get it.
Yep, appreciate it, Bob.
Yep. It's on my wallet.
Fred Rosato, who we finally got to meet in person. That was awesome.
Fred, that was a boatload of fun. You and Brett showing up and freaking buddy, can't remember his name now. Yeah, that was a ton of fun. We were talking. We never left the campground or the campsite. We always go on walkabout and see what people are up to and see what kind of shenanigans we can get in. We never even did that. We had people coming and having so much fun and talking with new folks and everything. What a blast!
Yeah, that was one of the first times that's ever happened to us. Is because we usually like to walk about and see what folks are up to, but during this race weekend we just didn't. We just we were having so much fun in the campground. We're like, we'll just stay here. And it wasn't even that we made a decision to stay there. It was that it never even occurred to us to leave.
Yeah. What's up, PJ?
Patrick Johnson.
Patrick Johnson.
My man.
He is a former coworker of mine, the
Jim Beam Peach.
Official
oh,
sponsor?
no, we don't have a new...
et cetera, et cetera.
We don't have a new booze this week, but that Jim Beam Peach, that sounds really good. Holy crap, we've got Ashley staying here.
Hey, PJ, I start a new job on Monday. How crazy is that? So, both of us out of the old place. So there you go.
Boom shakalaka.
Yeah. So, it's been good times. He's just hanging out. We do not have a guest, Ashley, so we were supposed to have. We'll talk about it on the show, but we'll talk about it a little bit. Sydney Lett was going to be on. She ended up having what we'll call a family emergency. The prognosis is good. Actually, the prognosis is just fine, but she needs to be with the family. Family first. If you can't be family first, I don't want you as part of my family.
That's right.
So yeah, just us. Hey, thanks, guys.
Cool. All right.
Yeah, we got about 3 minutes till 9, maybe 2, something like that. I think this computer is slow. I did sort of 5-finger discount this computer from the old job.
5-finger discount. And
not sure if I'm
for
supposed
all
to say
the rednecks at home who don't know what that is. Well, all the rednecks at home know what that means. For the non-rednecks at home, that means, well, you'll figure it out.
Yep. 2 minutes. 2 minutes to post.
2 minutes.
We used to go to the dog track. I mean, just especially when those couple of years we were living in Wisconsin. I was at the dog track twice a week. And,
given what your dad
so
likes to do with the gambling stuff, I can't imagine y'all weren't at the dog track.
And of course he won because he just gambles a ton and wins a ton. So I remember we were there. I mean, this is just the local dog track, nothing crazy. But he won a superfecta for a little over $4,000 in 1991.
I'm betting on dogs.
Betting on dogs.
I've been to the dog track down when they used to have one in Selma, Alabama. That was actually a lot of fun.
Yeah.
But I never won any money.
Yeah. I like what PJ said. I'm not saying anything, but these monitors of mine are great.
Right.
Yeah. Yeah. I actually gave back this computer was, I should say, it was decommissioned at some point. I asked them, can I have it? They said, yes, it's fine. I said, I'll use it as my work from home computer. And then I didn't really mention it after that. So, anyway.
Cool.
Winning at the Greyhounds can be rough, but I'm nicely done.
Yeah.
Let me see. I need to bring up some.
Key is you got to diversify with your money. What we're going to do is we're going to take half your money.
Put it in mayonnaise
We're going to
jars.
put it in mayonnaise jars and bury it in the backyard. The rest of it we're going to take down to the dog track and bet on the one that does his business before the race starts.
It's not us starting the podcast yet. I just have to have that up in order to start the podcast. Oh, hell yeah. Great to see y'all. Y'all keep the comments and questions coming because we are flying solo tonight, so we'll be paying attention and probably need, some amount of of guest interaction. Hey, PJ, were you at Michigan? Did I miss you? That would be tragic, actually. But it was a little wet, as it turns out. Jackets! Sarah, that is that's a Georgia Tech thing. If you say yellow, I'm going to say jackets. So, good times, though.
I don't know how we got covered on this, but Ryan Forster copied us on something funny.
Oh, yeah.
Or no, maybe it was just one of those weird things. They still do that news thing, even if you decline all of the desire for news.
Yeah, what's up with that, Twitter? Get Dorsey on the phone.
Yeah.
Let
Rogan ream him out a couple more times.
Yeah. Why we got to have this? I just want to see what my friend said. I didn't want to know that some guy that I follow liked something. That's what we say, third degree, don't give a F word. So
for sure, don't give an F word.
Yeah. So here it is, 9:00. Sherwin, you want to get this thing going?
Fire it on up.
Let's do it. Y'all know what the deal is, so we're just gonna get her rolling. Since it's kind of weird not having the guest, and you're like, wait, I should prep somebody. I don't know. Blah blah blah. Yeah. What you're wearing? I've got on gray shorts underneath this, which means I have gray on gray. So that's my fashion faux pas of the evening.
Somebody asked you what you were wearing?
Ashley Stang.
What you wearing?
What you're wearing.
Oh, yeah, she did it. For sure.
Yeah. All right, here we go. You ready, Sherwin?
Yes.
PTM Posse, I'm betting y'all are ready. Let's do this. We're recording now. Welcome, y'all! That's right. This is the Pregame Engineer Tailgate Mayor Racing Podcast, episode number 199. It's Tuesday, June 11th, 2019. I'm Tailgate Mayor Rusty Wallace. I'm in the PTM Podcast studio with Pregame Engineer Andrew Sherwin. What's up, dude?
Well, we sort of had an ad-lib at the last minute, but I think we'll figure it out.
I think so. Before we get to it, y'all, you know what the deal is. This podcast is sponsored by you. That's right. You go to patreon.com/PTM. Join the Watch Drink Club for as little as $1 a month and get your free koozie. And look, I even send them out and stuff. It's crazy. We'll send you some stickers, too. Best part is, every cent this year, we're once again donating to sponsoring drivers. So join the PTM Posse today. Be a part of the sport you love. This week's show brought to you by our official sponsors at the $5 and up per month level. Those are Laura Henshaw, Aaron Biden, Robert Kevlinger, Coleman McCann, Matt Kepner, Ryan Kiefer, Patrick Leary, Jeff Brown, Brandon Crow, Kathleen McDonald, Stacey Wright, Brandon Carl, Rico Porter, John Bob Les Miller, Tommy Witt, Julie Bosley, John Pearson, Eddie Greer III, Youngkin Motorsports, David Mullins, Patrick Johnson, Brett Morris, Crystal Smoke, Fred Rosado, Chad Knappett, Stacy Coleman, Matthew Camper, Lisa Chinana, and Rick Husted. All I could do.
Wow.
Yep. Sorry, Rick, for that one, but I had to get the one breather in, man.
I think Rick will get over it. Did you see where he got an awesome donation from somebody who works in the industry that found at a flea market like 475 episodes of Winston Scene magazine.
Wow.
That he bought for like $60.
Wow.
And he's given it to Rick to sort of give away as if you donate to the Patreon account for the Scene Vault, this is what you could potentially get out of having done that. So that's pretty damn cool.
That's neat. Love what Rick's doing over there. And he's a nerd too, you know?
Absolutely. I mean, he wrote that whole book about NASA. And
Right.
Yeah, Rick's a lot like us. He's a nerd neck.
Well, y'all, for tonight, we were supposed to have Sydney Led On, the singer of our, I was about to say national anthem, but it's kind of the PETM national anthem, isn't it?
For sure.
So she was going to be on. Unfortunately, she had a little bit of a family emergency. The prognosis is good. However, she was unable to make it. We were talking in the pre-show, family first, and you know what? If you don't respect that, I don't respect you. So that's where we're at with that one. So
Boom, hard hitting right off the top.
Well, you know what? I don't pull no.
I don't pull punches with family neither.
On the family stuff, you know what I mean? So all good. We'll hope to bring you a fun show tonight, full of laughs, full of stories, etc. Before we do anything, Sherwin, you know what the deal is. What are we drinking on tonight?
Well, it looks a whole lot like Jim Beam White Label and Coca-Cola.
Yes.
What's this beer I've got, though?
Good question.
It looks pretty cool. Spreaker India Pale Ale.
Spreaker, yeah. Yep, very cool. I am drinking the same. This all pretty much came out of my fridge, so we're imbibing on that one tonight. It'll be good. Hope y'all have your drinks ready as we get into it, Sherwin.
Yeah, you always got a two-fist.
I talked about it for a second there. But Sherwin, this keeps happening every once in a while. I got the stickers and the koozies that I sent out. Chad Knappen, Lisa Chinana. I've got them. They sent them back to me. I shouldn't have showed that, shown your address right there. Sorry, but
they don't like it when it's thicker than a certain amount.
Well, it's weird. So they sent it back and said it needs more postage, and I'm like, well, shoot, I'll put 10 stickers on it if you need me, or stamps or whatever we're calling them. I'll put a bunch of them on there, but I got to resend these out. And what I hate is that they mark out the stamp, so I can't even use that one anymore. I guess I forfeited the amount of
postage
work that they had to do to send it back to me. That's okay. I get it, but
all right.
Yeah, it's kind of funny.
We got,
sometimes it works, sometimes I don't. I don't.
Water with lemon, Diet Dr. Pepper, Moosehead, good for you, Brett.
Moosehead.
We got coffee for Odell, and we got Sprite for Patrick. All right, y'all.
Funny story. I think
Bud Light for Frederick, by the way. Freddie Rosado.
Nice, Freddie. I think I've drank more Moosehead than any other beer in my life, and I'm not sure I could possibly surpass that number, maybe ever, considering how diverse a selection I like nowadays. I'm pretty sure I've drank more Moosehead than anything. And y'all, there's a story behind that. Our fraternity used to make a beer, what do you call it, a Christmas tree.
Yeah.
And so you had to drink nothing but Moosehead for 4 months.
Well, before that it was Molson Ice, which was horrific.
Yeah, that sucked. So, but Moosehead went down very well.
Do you see they're doing like Yingling now? Because Yingling regular beer is the green bottle, and Yingling Light is a brown bottle.
Is that right?
Like they're pairing it.
Or whatever. Like our houses? The fraternity houses?
Yeah.
Oh, cool.
Well, the last one I saw was, yeah.
That's not bad. Good to change it up here and there. But, I think those 4 months for 4 years in a row, or maybe 5 years in a row, because I was at the fraternity house a little longer, I'm not sure I could possibly drink any other beer more. So, anyway.
Yeah, we done good.
Dude, we had our
Robert Schlomer, drinking that Lone Star from Texas.
Nice work. Lone Star beer in my cereal is keeping me
alive. That's right.
Sherwin, in what could be our first viral moment, I received the Brandon Brown misprint hero card from eBay. It's right here with the signature on it.
That is fantastic.
Y'all look at this. If you see the video, there's the 44 on the side of the truck and the 86 on top that he was talking about last week. That he,
it's like what we call in baseball card world. It was an error card.
Yeah. So I've got the official error card. We're gonna have to figure out how to give this out or something, Sherwin, because I don't have anywhere for it.
Well, there was another guy, and I will forget the name right off the top. And no offense,
was Oliver? Was it?
Yeah, I think it was Todd Oliver.
Todd Oliver. That's
bought 3 of them.
Yeah.
So I think between us and him, we cleaned them out.
And I think a few more people jumped in on that. If you jumped in on that, let us know. But eBay has sold out of the misprint cards now. So thank you, PT and Posse, for being a part of that. That was a ton of fun. I love it.
Well, Beast just said she's got her oldest son, or he's got his oldest son with him, so we're supposed to behave. I don't know that that's going to happen, but we will try.
We'll give it the old college try, the PETM college try. Here it is. Sherwin, Women's World Cup today.
Oh, my goodness.
It was the opener for the U.S., and me and Sherwin kept texting back and forth football references, like American football references, not,
right,
or whatever.
Right, not international football, but American football.
We got to five, if I'm saying this thing right, and we're texting back and forth, go for the touchdown, get the touchdown. And we got 6, and then we're like, extra point. And we got 7, and then our football analogies started falling apart when we got 8, and then we got 9, and then 10, 11, 12, 13. It was like, what in the world is going on? I texted Sherwin at one point, I said, I don't think we're playing football anymore.
I'll tell you what. So one of the cool things about that was that Alex Morgan tied the Women's World Cup record with 5 goals in a single game, and Carly Lloyd tied a record for 5 games in a row in the World Cup having scored a goal.
Yeah. That was nuts.
While a lot of people think 13 is an unlucky number, 13 is not an unlucky number for the U.S. women's national team, because one of the best players we have on the team who scored 5 goals tonight wears number 13.
Booyah. And to think that she scored 5 goals and the rest of the team scored another 7. Like, what the hell?
Yeah.
That's like, she almost had 2 hat tricks. Like, I mean,
well, it was
crazy,
funny.
The stats.
Somebody had put a poll up on the Twitter, and I can't remember who. I'd love to give them credit for it, but it was like, U.S. wins +2 or blah, blah, blah. And I was like, I bet the over. And then Jerry, what's his name?
Jerry Jordan
okay. Tweeted back at me. He's like, at lunch today, we set the over-under at 5.5. And I was like, I think we're going to get there. And then they scored the 6th one, and I was like, can I still bet the over?
Shout out Jerry Jordan kicking the tires. Didn't see him at Michigan this weekend. However, we
didn't see a lot of people at Michigan, by the way.
Michigan seemed to be a media vacation week. I don't know what the story was there, but Sherwin, let's talk about Michigan a little bit. Went up to Michigan, flew up there. Huge thanks to Brad Yunker, his girlfriend Andrea, daughter Chloe Yunker, Brandon Crowd from Lap Traffic, and his wife Lindsay. We had an absolute I don't know what to call it. Like, I hardly missed the fact that we weren't able to make the rained out race. Hardly. I would have liked to, but my cup is about filleth. You know what I mean?
Yeah, no, it was great. It was the first time we've ever had hot passes, and that was
cool.
Really neat. It was really neat having the kind of passes where nobody can tell you can't go somewhere.
Right.
You're like, yeah, I can go anywhere. And like, all right, that one doesn't do it. And you flip it around, they go, oh, yeah, that one does it.
Oh, yeah, you're good. I remember the one guy walking around, and I showed him my pass. I didn't. Again, it's like what you said. I don't know which one to show. He goes, I need to see the pink one. I turn it around with the pink one. He's like, you're good, man.
All right,
sweet. I'll tell you what, Michigan is a special place in that I don't think we've ever been treated bad or poorly or anything at any track by track members. I'm not saying that's ever the case, but Michigan, every person wished us a great day, a great race, and asked us if there was anything that they could do for us when we're not even wearing our media passes, just as fans. How are y'all doing today? Good. Anything we can do for you? I'm all good, man. And they're telling that to 150,000 people that are walking around, or however many. Maybe that's way less than that at this point. But
yeah, that's no slight to any other track that we've been to. But there is something special about Michigan, y'all. And if you haven't been, it is certainly a worthwhile experience, because the people there, not only are they extremely nice, they're very helpful. They're knowledgeable. Everybody that you would ask a question of would either know the answer to your question or know a person in relative proximity that could answer your question. And that is not always the case.
Right. So I don't know what to say. The people were just fantastic at Michigan. That is the special sauce there that what's his name, the former president,
Roger Curtis.
I knew it was Roger. Roger Curtis implemented. I think that, and his culture of that is very evident now.
Yeah, it's pretty rampant amongst the people they employ. And I think Brennan even said most of those people are volunteers, and that makes it even more special. Yeah. That those people would spend that time doing that and also have so much awareness of what's going on around them, and like to be able to answer a question of, I don't know where I'm supposed to go. Can you tell me? And they're like, yeah, you want to go right over here. See that sign? Boom, right there.
Yeah, yeah. So super cool. Thank you to Michigan International Speedway for hosting us and having us there. We had our little name tags in the media center that said where we're supposed to sit and stuff.
Oh, yeah. I asked Brandon to grab those yesterday if he actually went down there. So we'll see how it goes. But
that was I titled this podcast, by the way, "We're Not Supposed to Be Here."
Yeah, because that's 100% right.
And the fact that, like, we are supposed to be here. We had the name tags there. We had name tags in the press box. Brandon might have wrote those down. I don't know. But either way, man, that was super cool. Just those the little touches, you know. It's those little touches that you don't expect, but when it's there, it's like, oh wow, that's really cool. I will never get over that. By the way, I don't know how any media member walks in, sees their name, sits down, and starts working. Like, I would be like, oh, look, they've got a space for me, and my name's Bob Puckers. It's like,
well, it ends up mattering because we're talking about it now. That's how you know it matters, is because we're talking about it right now.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Yeah. So, Friday, we arrive. We're at the campsite. We go to the ARCA race. It was kind of unfortunate. This was an interesting topic to me, I thought. There were 18 cars entered into that race, and we were talking with Charlie Crawl about the fact that so many teams right now don't know what's going on with NASCAR and ARCA and K&N, and they don't want to spend too much money on their cars right now when they may have to change it here in a few months, big time, or it doesn't exist, or whatever happens between now and then.
Yep.
And so only 18 cars, which means you're probably not going to get a great race. And they did spread out a bit. But then there was this fuel mileage thing at the very end that, I mean, coming out of turn 3, the leader runs out of gas. And then it's kind of like this drag race with one guy who has no fuel and one guy who's 200 yards behind him to the finish.
Sure.
So the finish was a little it was exciting. Exciting to me. I enjoyed the race regardless because, hey, first time watching racing in Michigan. We're seeing cars on the track. We get to go wherever we want. So I enjoyed it. We actually just sat in the bleachers and enjoyed the race. So,
that we did.
Yep. I think we brought we didn't have any little bitty coolers either. All the coolers were huge at the campsite, so we brought a plastic bag filled with beers.
We brought a trash bag, or not a trash bag,
like
but
a Kroger bag.
A grocery bag. Yeah, a Kroger bag full of, had a couple, 3 or 4, 18 beers in it. Who knows?
I think it only had
I think I only brought 4.
Or maybe 4, yeah, and a couple to carry. And Sherwin, we went back and played some cornhole. I believe you and I were 6-0 or 7-0 on the weekend.
Undefeated, regardless of the number of the game.
I was going to say, the O is consistent among those. So.
Yeah. O for Ohio there, Brad.
Yeah, there you go.
You owed.
And those were not. Those were pretty competitive games too, at least at the beginning.
That's the most amount of ringers I've ever seen get canceled out.
That was impressive. Yeah, that got a little sideways. So yeah, go to bed Friday in the camper there. First time. I'll say it's the first time I've stayed in a camper. We stayed in that horse trailer that one time, and it was a little.
Well, that pop up too was. I mean, that was nice.
The pop-up
but
was
the trailer was scary.
The trailer was incredible. We had our own room. Like, me and Sherwin had a room in the trailer, and there's 7 people sleeping in this trailer, and we've got our own room in there, so we can shut the door and be snory loud.
And Rustin can snore.
And Sherwin can snore. With that, Saturday morning, get up, Xfinity race. We've got Hot Pass. Sherwin, we're walking around, and Sherwin goes, "There's Ross Chastain right there." And we're like, "Hey, Ross, what's happening?" And he looks over, "Fellas, what's going on?" So he at least recognizes us. That's cool. And cool things possibly to come with that. Tommy Joe. So, dude, you were taking a picture of something, and I saw Tommy Joe's car, and then I look up and I see Tommy Joe standing there, and I'm like, "Sherwin, it's Tommy." And I go, "Tommy," and he's like kind of in thought with another one of his crew members or something.
Right, it's kind of
he's got like his hands on his temples, kind of thing. And then I waited just for a second for him to kind of look up, like, okay, he's in between thoughts. I go, Tommy, and he looks up, kind of, I don't know if he was annoyed or whatever, but his face was just kind of like neutral, and then he just lights up, fellas, come here, let's get a picture by the car. Like, demanded it of us.
Yeah.
And then his dad takes a picture. We
introduced us to his dad. Cool. That was really cool.
Yeah. So great to see Tommy Joe. And then watch that ARCA race, and we had Tyler Reddick take the flag. We were down there in Victory Lane enjoying that. Good race.
They showered him with Twisted Tea,
which
is one of our favorite race day traditions since, I don't know, 10 years ago.
I don't know that I drink Twisted Tea outside of a racetrack.
I don't know that I do either.
But boy, does it go down like water.
But they definitely had to throw that fire suit out because that thing is not cleanable.
Nasty. And then Saturday night, we had Brett, we had Fred, we had Brett's friend come out and hang out with us and just sat around the campfire telling stories and singing songs and being, just general rednecks. But I can't ask for a better Saturday night than that. After like a Talladega one, where the whole thing is you got to go over to Talladega Boulevard, you got to see everything that's going on, shots, all that mess. To have like a chill out by the campfire kind of thing, super cool.
Yeah, well, I was hoping when we saw Brett Griffin over at the number 14 trailer that he would call me out again on the fireball to ask me how many fireball shots I had over the weekend, and I would have said less than I had the night of
of that podcast.
The podcast.
That's funny. Sunday, like Sherwin said, we went and met Brett Griffin and hung out there in the media center for a bit and saw y'all, when you have the PETM curse on you, you've seen this before. You see what's going on. You know that NASCAR is doing everything they can. I always credit NASCAR and the track for they're putting the Titans out. They're doing everything they can to try to make this thing happen, even in the face of horrid weather that's on the way. They're going to put the Titans out there. They're going to burn the fuel. They're going to pay for it and all that. They really try to do something there. But it was probably an hour before the race was starting, and we just kind of knew. You've been through this enough times. You just go, this race just ain't going to happen. And I know we've got windows here and there, but what's behind it and the pop-ups and all this other mess. So we ended up leaving the track a little bit early so we could head down to Brandon Crowd's neck of the woods.
Lap Traffic. Had a couple beers there in the man cave where he does the Lap Traffic podcast. And then hit the road, but we walked to the local watering hole, had some drinks and food there, walked to the next watering hole, played 2 rounds of trivia. We won the first round, and then I think the shots got to us on the second round. And that might happen, for sure.
I wrote in the show notes, Rusty went deep, so I kind of went deep that night.
I don't have it.
Yeah,
nothing wrong with that.
Good times. When I get that deep, I get a little loud. So I think at one point, I in my mind, I was telling Sherwin a very poignant and philosophical conversation. He turns at me, looks me in the face, and goes, "Ah!" I went, okay. Apparently, that was a little loud and possibly not as philosophical as I thought it might be.
Oh, it's funny.
So that was good. That was fun times. So. What a great time in Michigan. We'll get on with the stories and the storylines of Michigan, but wanted to at least talk about camping out, how much fun we had, and how cool that was for everybody. So thank you all, everybody who was a part of that, for hosting us. And y'all, you got to come to Michigan next time and come see us. Sherwin?
Yeah, absolutely.
Time to tear this thing down. All right, dude. First period. I got to do this. I got to find it. Here it comes. There it is. Oh, man.
Horn, the foghorn.
Y'all be sure to check
out. The fart horn.
Y'all be sure to check out the Lap Traffic bonus episode from this weekend. He had all these drivers on and even went out early while me and Sherwin were like, we'll chill here. Brandon just got his stuff, got out there, and he was interviewing. He interviewed Jimmy Johnson and Brad Keselowski.
Yeah, y'all haven't even heard everything from him yet. He's going to have a whole piece of the people he got.
Yeah, so that's really cool. But we're on that same show. And on that same show, Sherwin, the question was who's going to win that truck race, and how can somebody not pick Greg Biffle? I ended up in the slot to pick him, and sure enough, we watched the race on a phone on Friday night.
Yeah, and through like a Bluetooth speaker.
Yeah, Bluetooth speaker and
but
phone.
But we watched it on a phone, and like the last hour of that race, you had like 4 dudes sitting around drinking beer or a mixed drink, staring at a phone that's like 3x6 at the most, and we were glued to it.
Oh man, our eyeballs hurt from like from not blinking for an hour and a half there watching that race. How cool was that? Sherwin, I have not seen a single detractor about that. There were people who possibly didn't like Biffle back in the day or whatever, but maybe they forgot about that. Everyone was excited to see Greg Biffle win.
Yeah, I never liked Biffle as a Cup driver, but I was so excited about this process.
Yeah.
I mean, I'm just saying personally. Like,
Yeah.
It wasn't that he ever did anything that I didn't like. It was just that, well, I had a partisan bias against Roush for a long time. Probably because they were so damn good.
Yeah.
It happens naturally in sporting fandomship. But now I'm like, I'm kickstarting the whole. Greg needs to run a whole season and win a lot of races,
whatever it is. Yeah,
he needs to be our new Hornaday.
Kyle Busch tweeted out. Y'all know this. He said, "Damn, I'm a genius." And I told Sherwin at one point. I said, "There is no 4 words that will both unite his fans and piss off his detractors as much as damn, I'm a genius." And so for that, I think that is the tweet of the week. Yeah, well, cheers to that too.
100%.
That was amazing. I'm amazed that he sent that out, and I love that he did. And I don't know. I don't have to break it down or anything. It was just, for me, it was wow. That's really gonna make some people laugh who kind of get it, what he's trying to do there, and really piss off the people who just, cross-eyed hate the guy.
Yeah.
And I get it, and I love that too.
Beauty in its simplicity.
Mm-hmm. So, yeah, what can you say? Damn, he's a genius.
You need every word in that joke. There is no fat in that joke.
Yep,
you know what I mean?
Exactly.
Bill Burr style.
Yep. Jeff Gluck, he asked an interesting question in his sort of post-race breakdown, saying, is this showing some premature movement of young guns into the series? If we which, I mean, this is a big throwaway. If you throw away sponsorship, which, again, that's a huge throwaway thing, but shuffling Greg Biffle out when he's a winner at 49 after not being in a car for 3 years, good grief.
That's tough.
There's more juice to squeeze. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So,
well, we're going to hit on this again in the Ask PTM section, but I totally agree. I think it's tough. I guess I would agree with what Gluck's trying to insinuate, that, boy, are we pushing these people a little too fast? Or like, what's the appropriate amount of speed that you elevate people to level? Mm-hmm. I don't know that there's a rookie out there right now in a car that should win races that's not. But, it's worthy of discussion for sure.
I thought it was an interesting question, so figured I'd bring it up.
Yeah.
Sherwin, second period, Cup race. Joey.
Solid pick by Rusty.
It feels good to get 2 out of 3, man. It's like I know something. I don't know anything, but it's like I know something. You know what I mean?
Well, all right, right now in the sport, who are the best plate racers? If you can name 3, who are the best plate racers? We have to throw that away now that we don't have plates anymore, but let's forget about that part. Who are the best 3 plate racers in the sport?
Joey Logano.
Yep.
Brad Keselowski.
Yep.
Denny Hamlin.
Yep.
There you go.
Who won the race on Monday?
Joey Logano.
Okay.
Yeah.
So that's all you really need to know.
There it is. Yeah. Incredible 160 laps led. This it's been fire on Twitter, Sherwin. I know you've gotten involved too, but I'd say overall a great race. I really enjoyed it. There was so much going on. The restarts were multiple wide.
Bananas.
Yeah, restarts were crazy. To me, I mean, I just really, and I thought the TV for once maybe did a good job of showing what was going on, so that you could see all that racing. So I thoroughly enjoyed the race. Gluck's poll is exactly 50-50 after 12,000 votes or so.
Yeah,
so
I mean, kudos to Fox. I think they did a good job of showing people what was going on.
Yeah. So I really enjoyed it. There was a ton of 3 wide behind Joey, 2 wide. Seeing who could go challenge Joey, that was a big thing. Who's going to be the next one to go challenge him? And that's what the race is for. And so Truex is going to get up there and challenge him. Harvick's going to get up there and challenge him and see what happens. And then there's a late caution and we have to go into overtime. Who knows what's going to happen? Somebody might put a nose to the tail.
Well, I think the thing that was probably the most contentious point for a lot of people was that, if you tried to take the lead and were not successful, which happened a lot, you would end up not just going from trying to get first back to second, you would go back to fourth. And it's like, all right, did any of you watch Daytona before they repaved it?
Yeah.
That's exactly what that was. Isn't that what all y'all want?
Roger just said, restarts, last one, NASCAR didn't want to F1 it up. Did you? If y'all hadn't seen
my
F1
God,
ending, Vettel, he was so mad, he went out there and switched the number 1 and number 2 podium spots so that his car was number 1 because he crossed finish line first, but under some, obviously overregulated F1 rule.
Well, so here's the thing.
He wasn't allowed to race like that. So.
Yeah, so they told us off the top hand that cutting the corner was the illegal move that he made, but the actual way they ruled it was that he re-entered the track unsafely.
I mean, but did you die?
Did you die?
Did you die? No? All right.
So it. I mean, thank God we're not F1. I mean,
yeah.
Jesus.
Yeah. So if
the pass in the grass would have never happened, even though it was the maintain the lead in the grass, if we'd had these kind of rules.
Yeah, I don't get it. That one, if you're an outsider to F1 trying to get into it, that's something that they've got to go back and analyze and say, you know what, this isn't doing us any favors doing stuff like this. But who knows? I mean, they're
they have a level of arrogance that is unachievable at any of the NASCAR
FIFA.
level. Like it's.
Yeah, I don't know, man. I don't know. I mean, it's still the most popular motorsport in the world, so what can I,
Certainly the most money generating, too,
Yep.
So it's like we all kind of have to go, okay, well, but.
Yeah, yeah. So Weaver had an article saying Bowyer, Truex, and Harvick had some pretty staunch criticism post-race. Harvick less so. Harvick did this thing. He goes, look, man, I don't know. I just race. I put my foot down. I just race. I do my job. And that was kind of like saying something without saying something, Whereas Bowyer and Truex were Bowyer saying this isn't racing. Truex saying this is really frustrating. And Weaver asking the questions. If the drivers aren't having fun, how can the fans have fun? But
I don't think that's a great question at all.
I was going to say the drivers being excited, pissed off, etc., of not winning, because I mean that's what we're focused on is winning now, and so I think I did have fun as a fan, and I think
I know I did,
and I think he was saying even overall in the whole season it's been a very frustrating season and a lot of bitching and moaning about stuff. I'm fine with it. I'm fine with people being mad at the end of races. How about that? You know what? That takes it back old school more than anything. They wanted to get rid of that whole, Joey had a good car. We had a great points day. We'll move on to the next track. They have gotten rid of that. Now they have some pissed off drivers that are going to, ironically, if you will, tear apart NASCAR for the rules that NASCAR made to make them say that. You know what I mean? Like it's. You were going to say something, but
no, it's fine. I wanted to wait and let you have your piece, but I'm right there with you. Like, we don't want happy drivers; we want excited drivers, and the rule package or give the opportunity for that. And I think that's what we've got. And what we're seeing in Harvick, specifically in his vein, is we're seeing a guy that's used to winning 6 or 9 races a year who hasn't even sniffed victory lane yet this year, and he's not happy. But he also knows that if he says something really crappy, it might impact the way his team feels about him.
Sure. Also, I haven't seen anybody talk about this. I'm sure someone has, but I haven't. I was looking at all the articles and watching all the stuff, but I really thought this was a good test, even though it was a rain delay or whatever, for a weekday race, Sherwin. I mean, I know there was two sides. I saw both sides all over Twitter. I think it was probably 50-50, maybe even 75% was totally okay with the whole 5 p.m. race. 5 p.m. start. Even if you don't get off at 5, or you get off at 5 or 5:30, or even if you getting off at 6, 6:30, whatever, you can go home and watch the end of a race. I thought that was pretty darn cool.
Well, so I did comment over the top of Steve Wade, who I respect an absolute ton. He's Rick Houston's co-host on the Seam Vault, and he thought, his comment was, it's ridiculous to start a race at 5 o'clock.
I think he said ludicrous.
Ludicrous.
Yep.
You're exactly right. And I'm like, I don't think so. I think this is a great test case for what a summer race might look like on a Monday night.
I loved that if it could be any time on Monday, when would you want it? When would you as a fan
Well,
want
if
it?
you don't have lights, it's got to be at 5. If you've got lights, 8 o'clock, of course.
yeah, turn it into a night race. Get some, you can get some more foot traffic too into the racetrack. Which I mean, that's beside the point probably. But I mean, especially right now, what are we competing with? Baseball.
That's it.
Yeah.
Baseball.
So I think it was a great move to do
Well,
that.
and I guess the NBA
whole
Finals, but whatever on that.
Yeah. I know it was because of Women's World Cup and stuff, and but I thought it ended up a great time to do it, and like I said, a great test for what could be, and I am all for it now. Really like that Monday night racing, absolutely, Roger. Yeah,
Hell yeah.
So
I thought it was definitely a good test case on accident.
yes, exactly. Third period, Robin Miller from Racer Magazine writes a great article. I've got a few folks writing articles. I mean, I've already talked about Weaver, and by the way, I liked Weaver's article a lot.
Robin Miller
really
is a
good.
funny dude.
Robin
by the way.
Miller says it is time. He's not asking the question, is it time? He's stating it is time to make IndyCar NASCAR doubleheader a reality. And I just got goosebumps again. I got goosebumps when I read it. Sherwin, here's what's weird. I haven't really thought about it like that before. I know that sounds weird, but I haven't really considered the possibility. Anytime you think about, IndyCar and NASCAR, okay, well, maybe like doing the double for the 500 and the 600 or something. But actually both there on the same weekend, look at what NASCAR has done with Pocono, a place that hasn't had the greatest racing in a while, and look at the hype for Pocono coming up. We were talking over the weekend with, at least 10 people who are all going. We're there in person with us who are going. We know there's another 30 people from the PTM Posse who are going to go.
Oh, yeah.
And we're all talking about strategy for getting our campsite and spot and getting our tickets, making sure as soon as they go on sale that we're getting that so that we can make sure that we're there. Imagine if this is IndyCar and NASCAR together, because now the IndyCar guys are going to do it and the NASCAR guys are going to do it. It's going to be the hottest ticket in motorsports. F1 Monaco can go jump in a lake.
Well, I think the biggest thing is I think Indy has always been concerned that when NASCAR has reached out to or engaged with them in double-type weekends, they've only offered trucks and Xfinity. And IndyCar people have, with a lot of pride, said, I don't necessarily like this very much. It should be Cup and Indy. And so I think NASCAR needs to meet in the middle and say, yes, we'll offer Cup and Indy. And then we can figure out who goes first and who goes second. And it won't really matter because it's American motorsports. But, we had a doubleheader this weekend. We had, NASCAR trucks on Friday night, and we had IndyCar on Saturday night at Texas.
Yep.
So it's not that it's not been done. It's just not been done. Like NASCAR or Indy, I don't know who is the roadblock, but there's been a lot of ego involved in figuring out how we're going to do this.
I think you're right. I think there is a matter of just let go of the ego thing, man. Just run one, run the other, and celebrate the fact that you're able to do this, and everybody wins. Imagine just the. I can't imagine right now. I'm too stoked for this as a possibility. I think 2021, as they're looking at all the options, somebody needs to be in that boardroom that's making these decisions, going, "Hey, let's give IndyCar a call."
Yeah, well, I think we're heading in the right direction. I don't know if it's the right direction. I probably shouldn't say that. We're heading in a direction in that NASCAR is consulting Dallara on chassis for Cup cars in the new era, the Gen 7. Mm-hmm. What we don't know is, are they looking to sort of meld rubber providers? Because so that's one of the big deals with NASCAR and Indy is that Indy buys Hoosier and NASCAR buys Goodyear. How do we figure out how to make everybody happy? And also, it changes the racetrack significantly. So how do we manage that part of it?
Yeah, and Brett Moore says, what track would you do it at? Brett, here's my take.
Sonoma.
You could do it at any, obviously you could do it at any road course, but imagine doing a circle track NASCAR and then a, infield track IndyCar. You could do that at any one of 15 tracks.
You could do it at Indy.
You do it at Indy?
And Brett and I talked about that. I think that's why he mentioned it in the chat wall there is you could definitely do
COTA. There you go.
Yeah. COTA actually is not wide enough for Cup cars. It really isn't. Just go look at the layout, look at the dimensions. It's not conducive to Cup cars. Well, it's the reason why we don't race at Road Atlanta. It's just not wide enough.
Good point. Sherwin, I would be super excited, and I'm excited to see what 2021 offers. But if they come out with something like that, I mean, that's gangbusters.
It's same gangbusters as Pocono doubleheader. Let's go.
Right,
We're doing it. Exactly. Buying the tickets tomorrow.
Yep. Fourth period. I know we talk about it a lot, y'all, but he's a man of the people. Ross Chastain ends his 41-race streak. Now, y'all, I don't mean ends like his 41-race streak in Cup or in Xfinity or in trucks. He has run every Cup, Xfinity, and truck race since
he's got
November.
Perfect attendance so far.
Since November. He
even flew back from Texas to Michigan to run the Xfinity race on Saturday.
Yeah, and we shook his hand and everything. He ends that streak. I think it was Garrett Smithley had some sponsorship, and Ross said, I am happy for Garrett Smithley, and he's the only person I would be happy for.
That's awesome.
I was like, that's kind of funny. That's good. Being honest.
Hey, that's a Georgia boy, too. We got to figure out how to get him on, by the way.
True. But speaking of True North is now sponsoring Ross in Iowa. They met with him like last week or something, said, love what you're doing. What can we do to help out? How can we come to terms or something? Now he's got a sponsor for Iowa in the truck race. Because of all the hype that's going on. I mean, this, I love and hate this thing. I hate that this is the exception now, right?
It's the thing that bothered me when I saw earlier today, not to cut you off, I hope you remember what you were going to say, was Brett Griffin talking about how I think JD Motorsports might be taking a little bit different perspective on putting Ross in that 4 Xfinity car now that he's decided to run for the championship in trucks. But that's to be understood. Ross did bring a certain amount of momentum to that car. We saw it this weekend at Michigan. It was branded. It wasn't even JD Motorsports. It wasn't red. It was blue and white. Mm-hmm. Like, he had a sponsor, an actual sponsor.
Yeah, exactly. I think it's weird to celebrate this because this is how it feels like it should be. The watermelon farmer, he comes up, he's doing his thing. He's racing everything he can. He's hustling out there.
And he's tough as freaking nails.
And he just got this new sponsor for Iowa because they love the amount of attention that he's getting. Let's slap our name on the front of that. You know what I mean?
What's it cost to be there? Oh, yeah, we're down.
Yeah. Why do you think we went with Jensen Jorgensen in our Legend Series?
Yeah. All we want to do is win.
He's getting some damn attention, y'all. Mofo's winning some races, right?
Woo!
So let's pay attention there. So, exactly that. I love that. Speaking of out driving the car that you got in fifth period we're on now. Everyone's talking about Hailie Deegan and her move in the Colorado K&N race. Was it dirty? Was it not dirty? She's made contact in all 3 of her wins. Is she just a dirty driver or whatnot? Yep. Dude, I was going to say I love her, but I love her the same as I love Ross Chastain. This isn't like a weird thing. This just...
Are you being weird right now,
I might be being weird. But I love what she's doing. I love this. I absolutely... I dig this.
I love her I take no shit attitude.
Mm-hmm.
Like, her teammate doored her, chopped her on a restart. And she's like, if that's the way we race, that's the way we race.
And whether or not he didn't, and people analyzing the whole thing... She's here's the cool part. I was reading the article. Y'all got to read the article from now I've been made fun of by Sherwin for my pronunciation. Kelly Crandall. Kelly Crandall wrote the article of the weekend. You must read this if you don't read anything else. It's titled "Why NASCAR Needs Hailie Deegan." But in the interview, Crandall was asking Hailie, what's going on, and Hailie said, "I have to win. If you're going to get attention right now, you have to win." And so she's so win-focused, win. And that is what the Cup Series, obviously we'd want to bring her up in trucks and Xfinity and see what happens. But the focus is so much on win that she's got the right mental attitude. And we talked about this with other drivers like Danica, who came up. And one of the things I saw about Danica, I've talked about it on the podcast before. Somebody said there's a driver and there's a racer. And Danica was a driver, is what whoever I was reading this thing on. But I felt it made me think back to that attitude that Hailie has is a racer attitude, not a driver attitude, and she's killing it. Sherwin.
Yeah. So I think if we hearken back to Chase Elliott in a truck at Mid-Ohio, when he, sent it and dumped Ty Dillon to win that race there in the 94 truck and said, you know what, you don't want to win this way, but a win's a win.
Mm-hmm.
And then we see 2 years later, John Hunter Nemechek send it and dump Cole Custer, and that whole crazy, weird, body slam thing happened. And it's like they both say you don't want to win them this way, but a win is a win.
Yeah.
So it's got to be the same for Hailie. You feel like when you're in those positions, you got to win. And it doesn't really matter how you do it.
Yeah.
Like, if you're running up front, you deserve an opportunity to win. Like, if you clean somebody out, all right, cool. I mean, you and I both lost our minds about Kenseth being 20 laps down and dumping Logano.
Mm-hmm.
But almost nobody, except for the people that hate Logano, lost their minds when he pushed Truex out of the way at Martinsville.
Right.
This is racing.
Right.
This is what racing is.
You got to win.
You got to win.
And then what?
You got to win.
And then back that up. What happened later? He won the war, right?
He won the war. He won the championship. So the point of the whole conversation is, the whole stage or the period that we're in, is that winning matters. And the only people that can be in position to win are people that put themselves in position to win.
Right. Right.
And being in second or being in first, it doesn't matter which.
So Gluck, in his article, and I know Gluck's behind the paywall now, and I'm telling you everything he said in his article, but y'all got to go read it.
Y'all go sign up for The Athletic, $2.99 a month.
It's awesome.
It's worth it.
What's going on? Gluck said she may save NASCAR. I was like, that is bold.
Save is not a great word.
I'm not sure about the word, but I mean he's trying to make a statement here.
Sure.
I don't think he means it in terms of NASCAR is going down the pisser and, she's going to be the one to hold it up on her shoulders. But
she could revive it.
Revitalize, I think, is a great word for it. So, I was going to discuss that, but I think we just came to a consensus here in that revitalize, revive, etc. Is a great way to put it. So, I look forward to her.
Dude, I'm already a Deegan fan. I'm just waiting for her to like get into a national touring series, and I'll buy her stuff. I promise.
Right. And the crazy thing is, she's 17. Like she's got to wait another year before she can like run big tracks.
Right. She's subject to the Kyle Busch rule because he was so good when he was 16. They were like, "Yeah, you need to not come around for a while, and then you can come."
Well, here's where I can understand it. They do not want to seriously injure a minor.
Well, nobody wants to give a teenager a concussion.
Right. So I get it, but it is about Kyle Busch rule.
It is. They made it because of him, because he went out and whooped somebody's ass in a Roush truck when he was 16 years old. And they're like, "Yeah, we're not having this."
Yeah. And it may be because he was willing to do the types of things that Hailie's doing right now, which is I will
move you to win. I don't care.
To win, and that means that somebody else is going to move her later, and they don't want that to be when she's running 190 miles an hour.
Well, that's what Junior said on his podcast this week.
Oh, and I haven't listened to that part. So I am as smart as Junior. Yay.
Yeah.
No, I'm not.
No, he was like, "Look, this is what racing is. You know, you're going to get your comeuppance if you move people all the time." Mm-hmm. He said, "But if you're willing to move people, that's what racing is."
Yeah.
That's the desire. Sorry, I
got
got carried away.
Nope, I was going to move on. If you got more to say, go.
No, I don't. We can move on.
Recess, a good recess here, and almost exactly what recess is in school. You go back out in the yard. It's time to stop talking about the subject matters and the everything else. We're going to sit here and throw a football around.
How about BS a little bit?
How about Bubba and Corey LaJoy playing catch with fans in the stadium? I have seen
Blaney.
Yeah. And Blaney, and I've seen in baseball something very similar to that happen. I have like an old baseball bloopers VHS tape somewhere.
Oh yeah,
and I've seen where they were like playing with the fans, playing catch with them. But this was like in the 80s or 90s or something, and
sure,
you just don't see that. What other sport do you just see? Hey, we're just going to walk up. We say this all the time. What other sport is there that interaction between the fans and the drivers? The drivers all were fans at one point, and now they're here. Hey, we're just going to play around and have some fun. That was super cool, I thought.
I thought it was a great gesture for sure. Them having some fun, keeping the guy, the people that came to the race entertained, knowing. I mean, everybody knew there was going to be a problem with the weather, and then engaging the fans. It doesn't get cooler than that. I mean, I think I have actually seen a couple of Braves players identify somebody with a glove and throw a ball into the stands.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
No, and they throw it back, and it's like, yeah, that's what you'd want. Like, I mean, kudos to the fans for realizing that this is an opportunity just to engage and not just hold on to the football like a jerk.
Well, here's the other thing. You're surrounded by 1,000 rednecks. You're going to get your ass whooped.
Probably. That's probably true. You throw that football bag around now, we're going to have an issue.
Yeah, exactly. Here, you throw it back. So
wait till we get back to the trailer park. God, my God.
So, yeah, I thought that was super cool, them doing that. Because they could just walk right back in their trailer. That's what everybody was saying. They could just walk back in their trailer. But, you get bored, you get whatever, you get antsy. Let's throw the football around. And then next thing you know, let's throw it in the stands, see what happens,
Well, and to your point, and this is no belittlement to DiBurrito, but, there was a lot of tweets and comments and fun, positive things about the fact that he went and took a nap, and he got up 22 minutes before the race was supposed to start. It's like, yay, you got up in time. Woo! And that it's just the dichotomy of those different things that can happen in NASCAR is very cool.
Yeah. So that's recess. With that, we'll go on to Ask PTM. We had a few questions for Sydney. Unfortunately,
obviously, we had to ask them.
We'll have to. We'll call it postpone those. We won't ask them. We will postpone them. But we do have one from Michael Massey at M_MASSIE22. What Cup cars do y'all want to see? And Sherwin, you alluded to this earlier that we'll talk about this kind of thing. What Cup cars do y'all want to see the Big Three and Xfinity end up in next year? I thought next year was kind of like a whoa, buddy. What are we talking about here? But we'll do it anyway. Sherwin, Thoughts?
One-word answer? None. I don't think there's any Cup driver that's replaceable by a current Xfinity driver.
That's strong. That's strong. So let's break it down because we do have a Chevy, Toyota, and a Ford here.
Yep.
Right?
Yep.
So if
we've
we're
got
looking
Reddick, we've got Bell, and
Custer.
And Custer.
So Reddick in the Chevy. So if we're thinking about Chevy teams, I mean, obviously there's more Chevy teams than anybody, but
is Ryan Newman going to retire? Is RCR going to start a third team again?
I was thinking RCR would be the most, I don't know, but they've got Hemrick. That's their next, whatever they're going to do there has to do with
he's their
Hemrick.
guy.
You know, he's the guy there. So I'm not sure where Reddick would go other than, run Xfinity again. Let's not rush into this thing at this point. We see what happens when folks rush. And I think maybe Joey was rushed a bit, and then look at him. He had to, bounce around a little bit. Obviously found his sea legs. He's got a championship and umpteen wins, including this weekend.
7, I think, now.
And so maybe that's a success story. I don't know the right answer there, but I don't see any reason. I don't see any reason for Tyler Reddick. I could see something for Christopher Bell in the Toyota. He seems like somebody who could possibly go to a Gibbs.
I think his biggest problem is that Toyota doesn't have two really strong teams.
Well, they have two teams or whatever.
They only have Gibbs.
Yeah.
Right? Yeah. And once Furniture Row exited, they do not have, so as much as we want to talk about how Chevy and maybe fighting each other because they have multiple big teams.
Yeah.
Toyota has one team that is factory funded, is fully sponsored, yada, yada, yada. So what do you do with Bell?
Yeah.
Is anybody ready to give up on Eric Jones? No.
No, absolutely not.
Are you going to give up on Truex?
No.
So
Toyota?
Kyle Busch? Oh, I'm sorry, Mount Rushmore, a potential attendee?
Yeah.
No. Denny Hamlin? No.
No.
So we need to birth a new Toyota team.
Yeah, I would agree. I agree 100%. There's a drinking word right there. And Chevy, here's the thing. As I take a drink, RCR, for the reasons we just discussed, I don't know. Maybe Hendrick, if they're looking for another young talent and Jimmy decides he's ready to hang it up, or if they decide that this whole William Byron thing isn't working out or something.
I don't know. They pushed Chad over there. I just don't see them giving up on it very soon.
Yeah.
I
agree.
I agree with your sentiment there.
I'm trying to run scenarios in my head.
Yeah. No, I agree with you.
Custer. Cole Custer, I could say, in a Ford, we're getting some age in SHR. Right? We're getting...
so here's what I think.
I
think whenever Harvick decides he wants to go to TV full-time, that's when Custer will come to Cup.
Yeah, and I'm not...
And I don't think it's 2020.
Yeah, totally agree. So when we say next year, I agree with you, Sherwin. I don't see any of these going next year, but I see potential, and when you're talking about which teams, I think that's an interesting question. Which teams next year? I'm not seeing anybody. But which teams eventually? I think we've kind of covered that.
We just had our huge move up over the last 3 years. Mm-hmm. There's going to have to be a lull, and some drivers are going to be held back because of it.
Mm-hmm.
Chase ran 2 years of Xfinity after winning 3 races and a championship.
Mm-hmm.
By all means, he was ready to move to Cup.
Yeah.
But then it took him 3 years to win in Cup. So you have to weigh those things. What are all the variables that kept him from winning in Cup, and what are all the variables that you have in place in front of you that, for instance, drivers who aren't ready to retire yet. Hendrick, I guess, LFR at this point, got lucky that in some ways that Casey had a problem with his health.
Well, and so there's another question, and Sarah said it on the YouTube there. How's Denny's back doing lately? Fair question. He might roll up and give old Joe a Carl Edwards style, as it happened, as he talked about on the Dale Jr. podcast this week. surprised.
Yeah, not a bad point. Denny is 1 year older than me. He's 39. He'll be 40 later this year, I think, in November. So yeah, I mean, he's looking at the finish line.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, Jimmy is obviously looking a little bit closer at it.
Right.
But he's also a 7-time champion. That's a different animal altogether.
And who knows? They could change manufacturers too. I pigeonholed them into Chevy, Toyota.
Well,
Ford.
Kenseth drove to 46 and he won races.
Yeah, I thought it was cool that they were all the three different.
Oh, I think that was great. Yeah, that was perfect.
Whatever manufacturers that we have. Anyway, new follower shout out Sherwin on the YouTube. You'll recognize this name. Nate Dunham has followed us.
Oh,
on
that's
the YouTube,
awesome.
So that's cool. And you'll recognize this name, Gabrielle Moore. So, Gabby, thank you for hanging out with us on the YouTube. So, a few shout-outs there. With that, Sherwin, let's gas it up. It's time to go to Father's Day.
Well, by God.
That's right. So, don't have a whole lot to say other than in the, you know what? I'm going to say it every week. MOATF, till you get back, I'm going to continue to steal your segment. And that that should be motivation for MOATF to come back.
It should be.
You know what? These PTM guys keep stealing our segment every week. And we need to get back so that they'll stop. And as soon as you're back,
we'll stop.
It's all yours again, right? But until then, fun facts, Sherwin, about Father's Day. You ready for these?
Sure.
This first one I should actually have saved for last.
Do we have anything about the U.S. Open? Sorry, go ahead.
We'll talk about it. Yeah, let's talk about it after. I'm going to write it down right now. Watch this. U.S.
So we are going to talk about Father's Day because why not? Everybody loves their dad.
That's right. I thought this one was hilarious. There are more collect calls made on Father's Day than any other day.
Do they happen from prison?
That's the question, right? Like, how?
Sorry.
Happy Father's Day. Would you please give me $3 so that we can talk? I love it. And is collect call still a thing? I didn't know that was even still.
I think from prison it is.
Like that's standard issue in prison, right? But who else still makes? Who has made a collect call in the last, I'll say, 10 years?
Say a bunch of years.
Yeah, I had to go 2 digits.
I am pretty sure my last collect call happened when I was 17 years old, which was 21 years ago.
Wow. I haven't made a collect call, but I did accept one time because I was curious, and it was like the wrong number or something, and it cost me 3 cents or whatever.
Get me out of jail, please.
Yeah. What was the old that old commercial? Mama or Dad, we oughta baby eats a boy. That was his name.
We oughta baby eats a boy.
Yeah, and collect call from.
Like, what's your name? We oughta baby eats a boy.
Oh man, but I didn't.
It's like MCI or something.
Oh man, yeah.
Or 1-800-COLLECT.
Yeah. I didn't even know that was
Carrot Top.
Odell has a Bob. We oughta baby eats a boy.
Yeah,
that was it. It was Bob. Good times. The oldest father in the world is Ramjit Raghav. Of course, he's from India because they live forever. 94 years old in 2010, and apparently 96 in 2012, had another baby. Still alive today, 102 years old.
Oh, all right, hold the phone. He had a new baby at age 96?
Correct.
Wow, that's some good plumbing.
Yeah. Right? Hey, you know what? That gives a lot of, I don't know, that should be a banner for men everywhere. Like, hey, you know what? Still got it.
I can knock her up.
So, good deal. Showing in Germany, men celebrate Father's Day by dragging hand-pulled wagons of beer around, and they just raise hell. Like, hey, it's Father's Day. Let's grab our hand cart of beer and roll around the neighborhood and drink and get drunk, and the cops are not going to mind because they're all drunk, too. I respect that a lot, and we should bring that to the U.S.
Sounds like they nailed it. I mean,
right?
is there any
hashtag?
Yeah, hashtag nailed it.
Yeah, I think they did it.
You can just drag a wagon of beer because, like, carrying a cooler kind of sucks sometimes. If I just had to pull a wagon
with like 6 other dudes,
we could put like 6 cases of beer.
Oh, we're talking kegs at this. If it's a wagon, we're talking kegs.
Oh yeah, we're like pumping.
Yeah, we're all good. Yeah, that's funny.
Yeah.
And the
keg stand.
You know what? This is why Germany's doing it right. What does every father want on Father's Day? You just want to drag a keg of beer around with your buddies and raise hell and not have any like negative associations with it. You know, if it's 2 a.m. and there's 4 dudes outside singing some song, and it's like, don't mind them, it's Father's Day. That's what you want as a dude, right?
Yeah, I agree with you 100%.
So,
yeah,
good on you.
Have another drink because that's at 100%.
Yeah, good on you, Germany, for doing that. Finally, first
make
Father's
some better
Day.
beer though, for sure.
Yeah, the whole Reingestalt needs to bend the rules a little bit here and there. Anyway, first Father's Day card is 4,000 years old, Sherwin. So the first time that we can find a Father's Day card, it was written by a Babylonian kid named Elmasu. It was carved in clay, and it said he wishes his father good health and long life. So good on you, Elmasu. You mean
like 2,000 years before whatever BC is?
Yeah,
basically.
Exactly. 2,000 BC. Like
y'all learned some history here on the PTM podcast.
Long time ago.
Half a minute for sure.
No kidding. And they apparently translated. Now, maybe they got the translation wrong and it said, everybody run, the volcano's about to blow. But the way they translated it was, I wish father good health and long life. So, good deal. Sherwin, U.S. Open, you were going to say something.
Oh, yeah. Well, it's the biggest tournament in the United States from a golf perspective. It's at Pebble Beach, one of the most famous golf courses in the United States. It's been there, I don't know, probably 20 times in its history. Tiger Woods would have the chance to win it.
Who's going to be there?
Multiple times and be only the third person to ever do that. And, Pebble Beach just happens to be about 10 or 15 miles from Stanford where Tiger went to school. So,
hometown hero
kind of stuff right there.
Love it. With that, Sherwin, it is about time to close this thing down. I hate it that we have to do this I say so soon. We've been talking forever. Me and Sherwin are going to be sitting here talking NASCAR probably for the next hour.
Yeah, YouTube might go a little long tonight.
Yeah. But with that, Sherwin, let's go ahead and close this thing down. It has been a blast. Sydney Lett, we wish you and the fans...
We have to make picks.
For Father's Day?
No, we don't, because it's an off week.
That's right. So we will talk to y'all next week. We'll make our picks and everything. Sherwin gets to go first because I did pick Sherwin down. Right. With that, y'all know what the deal is. You know where to find us, PTMpodcast.com, at PTM Podcast on the Twitter handle. As always, I'm Tailgate Mayor Rusty Wallace at Tailgate Mayor.
And I'm Andrew Sherwin at Pregame Engineer and at Andrew L. Sherwin on the Instagram.
Next week is our 200th episode, y'all. 200. We've got a pretty cool thing lined up. We're looking forward to it. It's going to be awesome.
It's going to be real awesome.
It's going to be real awesome. I don't know what else to say.
Yeah, there's nothing else to say.
Other than
Ross Chastain!
Woo! Y'all come, join us. We'll see you then. Love you. PTM Posse, you're the best.
You're out.
Sherwin always spills the beans.
Whoops.
It's all good. Let's see. Let's get this thing cut.
Well, you got to do a little bit of promotion.
Well, you know what? You know what that's for? It's for everybody who stuck around till the end.
Yeah, that's the whole point.
That's what it is. That's what it is.
I don't say it early. Don't want to spill them
early. No, we're not spilling it that early. Episode number 199, y'all. I can't believe I've done this 199 times. I've told...
Well, let me get over to YouTube so I make sure I don't leave these people... Who in the hell is Alma Sue, Sarah? I don't know who that is.
You know what? I don't mean to get all sentimental here or whatever you call it, but I've told
You can get as sentimental as you want.
I've told my wife and my family before that, you know what? If I were to get run over by a bus tomorrow, you at least have 200 hours of me talking and video of probably, 150 of those? Like, I'll at least be there's something that you can go back and listen to and
look
stuff.
at, yeah.
And I don't mean that everybody has to do this and start a podcast. If that's not your thing, that's not your thing. But y'all, you really need to make sure that there's like video and audio and stuff. We've talked about before, our buddy Chris Canis, who passed away back in 2012. I believe there is one video of him that I know of, and it's like 6 seconds long. His sister sent it to us, and I've watched that video 100,000 times. And audio, I think that's the only audio too. And so it's there's plenty of pictures and stuff, but y'all, you gotta now in this day and age for folks to go back and be able to listen to stuff and remember folks. So again, I'm not trying to go into a sad or morbid place or anything, but I lament the fact that we don't have more of a person who was so much better at talking and joking and all that than we are, Sherwin, and you agree with that for sure.
Jesus, he was hilarious.
And we, and now at least, I can pass this thing on to our families and stuff. You gotta, every time that somebody puts a camera in your face, don't shy away and don't say, turn that off, turn that off. Get into it, because it will really actually mean something to folks.
Well, I mean, that's even good advice to me, because I do get a little bit shy when it's not me and you, because I'm super comfortable around you.
Yeah.
But I do, there are places where I certainly get real, stoved up or whatever you want to call it.
It's funny now. I say now. I mean, we've been doing this podcast 4 years now, but in work settings, when people were like, "Oh, I'm not going to turn my camera on. I don't like myself on camera." I'm like, "There's 200 hours of me on camera." So this ain't gonna be the one that like breaks me or gets me done with or whatever. So
right.
Yeah, my camera's coming on. If my hair's a mess, I'm gonna just tell folks, "Hey, hair's a mess. Sorry." Actually, not even sorry. You deal with it. You know what I mean?
Yeah, that's a good call.
Yeah. So, anyway, y'all be sure to do that. Do your thing. Anyway.
Yeah, so Mom called me up last week and asked me, like, you want to take your dad to the Braves game on the 16th? Because it's like, prostate cancer survivor day or whatever.
Mm-hmm.
I guess that's Sunday. And then she called me today and she's like, yeah, so the U.S. Open's this weekend, so maybe that's not a good idea because he might want to watch that. And I'm like, yeah, I was going to mention that to your mom, but I wasn't sure how this project was supposed to play out because I'd be happy to go with Dad to a Braves game, but I don't think this Sunday is the one to do it.
So this is funny. So as part, I said it in the pre-show that I'm starting a new job and whatever, and they did a background check, right? And so while we're sitting here just now, I just got an email that said, "Hey, your background check is complete. Click here to view the report." So I'm going to go through my background check with y'all live.
All right, here we go.
Let you know what old Rusty.
You know what old Rusty's been up to
Yeah.
over the last 10
well,
years.
What's funny is they were like, I think they even told me, and I met one of the HR people said in an interview, they said, we do a background check. Is that okay and everything? And I said, yeah, I mean, you're wasting your money. I'm a pretty boring person in terms of background checks. So, but there's
never been arrested, highest honored graduate.
There's all that back of your mind stuff like, do they know about that thing I did in third grade that I'm kind of embarrassed about? Like, or I walked into the girl's bathroom at one time.
See,
am I now like a sexual predator?
My background check could potentially be exciting.
So
like, really,
let's scroll through this. Social security number trace is complete, so that worked. Criminal county
citizen,
evidently. Criminal county search in DeKalb County, Georgia, And then they searched Catoosa County, Georgia, for some reason. Okay. Apparently, you know what?
Up there at Blake Blue Ridge.
I am clear of all charges in Catoosa County, Georgia, evidently. So that's
good spot to be clear.
Yeah, that's good. That's good.
Folks up there.
You know, I wonder if they've got my old. You remember when I got that like camera speeding ticket in Bluff City in Blount County, Tennessee? Yeah. Wonder if they've got that deal. That was on our way back from Bristol.
Oh, that should be a misdemeanor 1. That should not be on your record.
No, it's not. I'm just laughing. Let's see. Here, okay, this is interesting. Apparently, they searched my name. My name is Patrick Wallace. That's my like legal name.
But so what does your dad do in Catoosa County?
Well, no. Well, that's a good question, actually. But they searched an alternative name for Jason Powell. Who the hell is that? Apparently, he's okay, but they apparently searched that too.
All right.
I am clear of felony and misdemeanor charges in DeKalb County where I live, so that's good. They searched Patrick Wallace, Ricky Wallace, and Jason Powell. I don't know who this Jason guy is, but apparently he's got a clean record too, so good for him. Those are all clear. That's
all right,
clear.
We got to make sure that, I mean, this is good stuff, but we got to make sure we're YouTubing After Dark for sure.
Oh, yeah.
All right, so
we went through it. I am apparently clear.
All right, y'all, in the timeline there, ask some After Dark stuff, and we'll fire it up. Like, y'all just, like, get a little rowdy with it. Why not?
And who's on y'all's background check?
Yeah. What in your background check is going to freak you out when somebody tells you, we're going to do a background check on you?
I want to know who the hell Jason Powell is. I'm going to go find him and do some misdemeanors and felonies against him now.
Mm-hmm. I'm going to spit in my beer, by the way.
Ooh, that's...
that would have sucked.
That'll be spicy later.
Mm-hmm.
Let's see. I need to post this thing. PTM.
Rusty's over there working away on the old computer, so I'll just be talking to y'all like, well, y'all don't even want me to talk to y'all, but I will.
Doing it anyway.
Someone stole your identity? No identities were stolen to this point.
Not that I know of.
There's
Jason
been
Powell
a lot of stolen utility vehicles. All right. I mean, somebody else told me that story.
And that is not on my record.
Dip spit in the drink is nasty. Chrissy, I agree 100%. That is not a good taste. Warm dip spit. That'll... She give that popcorn up. Pedal chew in my mouth, go spitting and slobbering all around the house. Copenhagen makes me feel so good.
Y'all,
what else, y'all?
It is pouring rain here in Atlanta.
Yeah,
I don't know where it is, y'all, but
raining.
It is nasty rain.
Like it's never rained before.
Yeah.
This is why we didn't land until like 35 minutes after we were supposed to. We flew back to Nashville and did a lap. And then we ran slap out of gas, got put to the front of the line.
Oh, man. Oh, that's funny, Roger. You fit the description of a known Latin gang member. What was his name? Did they tell you his name? Or did he have a nickname? That would have been funny.
That would have been funny.
And then you got to play it like, Ron White. I'm Ron Tater Salad.
Don't set your beer on top of the urinal and grab the wrong one. Fred, that's advice for the ages.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Yep.
That's straight up redneck advice.
For sure.
You almost have to experience it to know it,
Yeah.
But you know it.
Well, a good redneck, despite his level of consciousness, will feel that twinge on the tongue when they're about to drink out of a spitter.
Oh, yeah.
And immediately spit that thing back out and go, damn, that was almost real shitty.
Yeah. PJ, text me. I'll tell you about the new company and all that. Just text me. I know you got my phone number, my personal cell. I'll be glad to tell you. But right. I did just sign like this whole thing that said you will not talk about the company on social media in a disparaging way, which I wouldn't do anyway. I'm fixing to start with them. I love the company. But if they don't want to be associated with Tootin' Rednecks talking about NASCAR, then I'm not going to talk about who they are. We could kill a California wildfire.
Sarah,
No
that
kidding.
is very mean.
And 110% accurate.
You know what? I tell you what. If we could bring rain to how awful that fire was last year, we'd be glad to do it. Because that thing was horrific.
Yeah. I think some of the hardest rain I've ever been in was in Bristol, holding down our tent, and it got
That
all
was
messed
hilarious,
up. Dude.
We broke a damn canopy,
Yeah.
like in the rain.
Yeah, broke a canopy. By the way, took it back to Walmart that next weekend. They're like, all right, go get you a new one.
Go get you. You just want to trade it in?
And that canopy was like 5 years old at that point. And they just
Like,
took
look around. Like, is anybody looking? Yeah.
Here's the funny thing. Dude in front of me in customer service, he didn't have a receipt, and they gave him all kinds of holy hell. I guess he was trying to get, like, money back or something. But they were just like, with no receipt, we just can't do nothing. Sorry, there's nothing we can do. Blah, blah, blah. I mean, and they went back and forth. He was pretty heated. And I was like, man, my turn's coming up, and I ain't got no receipt. You can barely even scan the barcode anymore because it's been used so much. And I just walk up. I said, look, I got this tent. It's all messed up. I got it here. And they scanned it. They were like, oh, yeah, what you want to do? And I said, I want to get another one. And they said, all right, just go get one. It's down there in Sporting Goods. Bring it back up here. We'll take care of you. It's like, booyah.
Boom. They were going to make a claim against Coleman. It wasn't going to hurt Walmart's bottom line.
None of their deal. Coleman, I gotta wonder sometimes, how many times does the manufacturer come back and you go, you realize this tent is 6 years old? Walmart's like, hey, what do you want?
Yeah, you can look at the lot
Walmart.
number on the barcode, and you can tell when it was made. And most likely, as sophisticated as Walmart is, you can tell when it was sold.
Right.
But they don't give a damn.
Odell, we are not going to be in Michigan in August. That starts kind of our, I would say, fall
We're trying to
season.
get prepared for college football, but we do have those two big races at Bristol and Darlington.
That's right. So come see us at Bristol and Darlington.
Yeah, come on down.
And those are two places, I mean, you just can't miss. We keep telling
I don't think people realize. So, obviously, Bristol and Martinsville should be on everybody's bucket list as old school NASCAR. Darlington should be like your 1C at worst on your bucket list. Darlington is so damn cool. Sit high in turn 4 in the Pearson Grandstand. You can see the whole track. It almost looks like a short track. And you can see those guys come flying into 3 and just absolutely lose control of their car and gather it up and get back boogieing down the front stretch.
Mm-hmm. Oh, publish. I have to publish it before I do anything. Haha, there we go. And there's the link. That's what we need.
Hey, Sherwin, looks like you got too much sun this weekend at Michigan. No, I have rosy cheeks always. That's how that works.
That's true. But, good times. Good
Michigan
times.
was a great time.
Preview looks like here. I talked about it last week where, like, I have to do all this. No, I don't want to schedule it. I want to post it now.
Yeah. Can I
Schedule?
go ahead and schedule it now, sir?
Publish immediately. Thank you. Thank you very much. And if I go to Feed Burner, and then I go to Feeds, and I do that, and then I do this thing, and that thing. There's so many buttons you got to freaking click. I know there's an easier way to do this, but you don't have as much control.
But
And I want control because I'm a nerd, and I like control of all my stuff. Now, log in. That's my password. Now, if I go to podcasts, and I go to PTM, and I reload...
Hey yo, boom shakalaka. Oh, even my phones went off. Awesome.
$1.99 is available on iTunes, Google Play, and Spreaker, and all the rest of that crap. So
Boom shock.
y'all be sure to go take a look. I've still got some more stuff to do. I gotta work on our homepage and on Twitter, and as soon as I'm done with that, then we're done. And then I can BS some more.
Yay!
What am I saying? Nerd Neck, you got that right?
Man, I don't have like a speech prepared, but Nerd Neck. By the way, I did create a Twitter handle for that. but I was like the 18th person to do it. So we got Nerdneck 18, but I have no intention of ever using it.
How do I?
But it exists.
Dadgummit, how do I go to the HTML list? Y'all, I said it last week. It's like being in edit as HTML. There it is. It's like being in the Matrix. It really is. Where you're like, if I can see the code, I'm fine. If I see the output of the code, I don't know how to edit it because I'm a nerd, and that's how it works.
What's going on?
Yeah.
I don't understand.
Yeah. So, let's see. There we go.
All right, y'all. Go do some justice to Brandon Brown, the guy that races the 86 car in the Xfinity Series. We had him on last week. Very cool dude. So if you get a chance to just pay attention to what he's doing, that's awesome. And he gave us plenty of time last week, more time than we probably deserved, which was awesome. And then, next week, obviously I spilled the beans. I think we're still totally trying to figure out how to sow those oats, but Ross has said that he'll do it, and he's committed to it, so that's what we're expecting to have next week for you on our bicentennial episode.
Bicentennial, Sherwin.
Woo!
How cool is that?
It's cool for a lot of reasons, but actually, it's cool for all the reasons. Every reason why it's cool.
Every reason you can have.
It's cool.
Yeah.
No, we didn't do the tray thing. I wish we would have. That would have been hilarious as hell.
We didn't. We had to take an Uber all the way to the track, and then once you're in the track, there's not a whole lot you can do to steal a tray. But that was in our minds, and still is. That's going to happen. We're going to, first degree tray stealing from someone.
Yeah, and to Raj there, watermelon will be a part of next week's show for sure once we get Ross totally buttoned up.
I'm going to go buy watermelon.
We will have a watermelon.
Yeah, an actual one. Yeah.
And we will eat watermelon on the show, and it'll be disgusting just like you think it might be. But we're going to do it because you guys think that stuff's funny for the most part, and so do we.
And so do we. So it is on ptmpodcast.com. It is on all the places you can find it. It's on Twitter. Everything is ready to roll. Going to be awesome. Let's see.
It's raining like hell outside.
Oh, it's coming down. It's crazy.
Yeah, it's pouring here in Atlanta, by the way, for those keeping score at home. It is. And it has been for what, like 6 days or something? It's crazy. It's been very wet here. We missed 3 days of that. We found some of it yesterday, or not yesterday, but the day before when we were at Michigan. There's been a lot of water on the East Coast.
Yep. PJ, I just texted you. Please confirm that you received or did not receive that message. But I believe I've texted you.
He thinks he has. We'll see.
Thought I did.
Vodka and watermelon. Yeah, we probably won't do a vodka melon, but that doesn't mean we won't have vodka with our watermelon.
Here's the thing. I was just thinking vodka watermelon when you said watermelon. So we might have Google extreme vodka watermelon. Well,
oh my
sir,
God, extreme
vodka water. Whoa, I didn't even have to type watermelon. It was there. Oh my God. There are
four bottles.
This one has 5 bottles. This is ridiculous.
This is going to be out of control.
Wait, Tipsy Bartender did 2 of them. One has 4, one has 5 bottles. Oh my goodness. Well, I don't want to get slammed by YouTube for
what in the hell is a hairy buffalo, Brett? That sounds terrible.
They have cut out 5 holes for vodka. You're just drinking vodka at this point. Good God. No is the answer to 3 days later.
Watermelon is good as it is.
3 days later, and all the vodka is gone.
It's not like we don't know how to drink. Listen to me.
Oh, man. All 5 bottles are empty, and they're in the watermelon. These are all, they look like pint bottles that they did. And what are they going to do with it? Okay, they're cutting it open.
Oh, they're pints. Okay, that makes sense.
There they go. They're still cutting it open. They're fixing to taste it. There they go. They're tasting it. And now she's wasted.
You taste it?
You know, yeah.
Oh, she's saying how good it is.
It's
Horse manure.
Good. Oh, my God.
Oh, and the dude, that's funny. So the dude took a bite, and he's like, no, this is wrong. This is right out. Do not do this. Extreme watermelon.
Yeah, it's like, for sure, stop right now before you become my problem. Because right now, you're your problem.
Yeah. You're fixing to become...
And if you have another slice, you might become my problem, and that's not okay.
I'm not looking for that. Oh, man. Well, good times. Sherwin, I guess it's about time to shut this thing down. I have to pee.
That'll happen sometimes.
Yep, that's what it is. Thank y'all for joining on the PTM 199. Thank you so much for hanging out. I've had a blast. That was fun.
That was a lot of fun.
I hope we weren't humble bragging too much or whatever about the access and everything else. We're just, we just have fun. Was it somebody on Twitter recently had said, I know y'all have got all this media bias to talk about how good the track was, but blah, 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 blah. And I retweeted over the top. I'm like, I'm laughing at media bias. That's pretty funny. Because
that's what I said about it. I'm
zero
like,
obligation from anyone. Now, I will talk about, if somebody treats me like ish, I'll talk about how we were treated like ish. But if we're having a good time and they're giving us all this stuff and how nice everybody is and all that stuff, shoot, I'll pump you right up because that's what you deserve and that's what happened. It's not like nothing disingenuous here, but I everybody on the show knows that at this point. It's not like I'm arguing against y'all. It's almost a straw man, except for the straw man existed talking about media bias. I was almost flattered that somebody said that we had media bias, and I was laughing. I'm like, wow, media bias. Because he's like, us fans don't like this kind of racing. I'm like, well, I don't know what to tell you, brother. We're fans, too. Fans disagree sometimes. So, anyway, y'all have a good one. We'll talk to y'all soon.
Yes, sir.